17 bids, 46 watchers. I went in there with a 1 second, last second snipe. Yeah, 1 second to the last second of the auction and beat them all at $55. Let's open it up and check it out and see what it is. Now, when you see 46, I'm getting my cutting implement. When you see 46 watchers, generally it means you're not going to win the auction. And I don't know how I got lucky, but I did. All right, so let's get this open. We're going to do it in fast motion and see what it is. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't think it would be this big. I thought it would only be like 1 inch big. This is, wow, it's actually really heavy, and it's even better than what I thought it would be. Now, the reason why I have gloves on is because I always clean these because they were kissed. And I don't want anybody else's DNA on this, but so let's talk about what the heck this is. Now, the reason why people went crazy over it is because it's a reliquary. Or a reliquary is some kind of box or some kind of thing that holds relics or holy relics. And in the Catholic faith, relics are actually part of our, I guess, our faith. And relics are very, very powerful and very important. So we have Jesus Christ on the crucifix with, we have ebony wood. Don't know if you can see that. And generally these were made in France, Italy, or Germany. Now what's cool is it has metals on it. And it has, let's see what metal this is. This is the Benedict metal. I can tell by looking at it. I'm no expert. I'm going to tell you that much right now. And on the front, yep, it looks like it's Saint Benedict for sure. And then we had the Sacred Heart of Jesus. This is a scapula. And I believe most likely this was actually, and almost in every case, these crucifixes were worn by clergy members of the church, such as a priest or a nun, bishop, cardinal, somebody who was actually practicing the Catholic faith in more of not a regular, everyday, average day Joe, but more of somebody who was in this profession. So this could be a profession crucifix, which is quite cool. Now, dating this may be easy. Now, generally, these were very popular, these Sacred Heart of Jesus scapulars, circa around 1936. Now, I find a lot of them being sold on eBay dated 1936. Sometimes you can find right there, like in the corner or very faintly on the bottom, a year. And a lot of these are dated 1936. This could be earlier. So I'm going to open this up for us. All right, let's actually lower the camera. And so we can get a closer view of this. We're going to open this up together. And the reason why this went for, this actually went into a bid war was because these sell generally between the $300 to the $2,500 price range. And I'll show you what's so neat about this crucifix. Now, let's just flip it over. Here's the back side. It's ebony. I'm going to clean this. And I'm also going to condition the wood. Sometimes it'll have a country of origin on the top part or on the shank where it would hang. I don't see anything, but I suspect it was made in Germany. All right, so let's go ahead and gently. Now, you don't want to lose the screw. If you lose the screw, you are actually screwed. And let's just do this gently and not lose the screw. And we're going to undo this as gently as possible without the screw flying across the room. You don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put the screw over here in a spot, yes, that I won't forget I put it. And we're going to open this up carefully as possible. And we're going to take a look at what's inside this reliquary. And cool, we got the relics of the saints. And who do we have in here? Okay, here on the left we have Saint Gerard. On the right we have one of my favorite all-time saints, Saint Therese of Lisieux. Don't know if you can see that. And then right down here we have another saint that I don't recognize, or at least I don't think I recognize. Let's try to read what this says. And we're going to do a little research and we're going to try to find out who I can't even see this. Pampalon. R.P. Pampalon. And I think it was a French priest. A redemptionist priest. So we have R.P. Pampalon. And if you look right there, there's a bundle. It looks like a package. And the relic is actually tied up in this little pouch or this little present. Like, I call it a present. Look, there we go. It's tied up and placed in here and wrapped with gold wire. And, oh, we forgot St. Anne. St. Anne, the mother of Mary, Jesus's mother. So this is Jesus's grandmother, St. Anne. We have a relic of her too. So there are 4 saints in here. Although this one wasn't a saint yet when this was made. We're going to check out who this guy was right here in a moment. Let's go ahead and check him out. So what's pretty cool about this is that I believe this came from a French monastery. And I'll tell you why I think. 3 out of 4 of these saints died of tuberculosis and were French. And so we have right here, this Saint Therese, my favorite saint, died from tuberculosis. Father Pampalon died of tuberculosis. And Saint Gerard died of tuberculosis. All 3 of them died of tuberculosis. Saint Anne, I'm not sure. We'll have to Google. We're really going to, before I show you who Saint... Well, I believe he's a saint, or he's actually, this one right here, this priest is not a saint yet. He's, I believe he's venerated or something like that. Again, I am not an absolute expert in the Catholic religion. And I wouldn't even say I was like a faithful Catholic. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to look at the clues. Now, this was very loved, as you can see, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I'm trying to look, I'm going around the edges, trying to get a year on this one. And I'm guessing that this is 1936. Now, we know St. Therese was made a saint in 1925. So this is going to help us to date this. And I'm going to flip over the Sacred Heart of Jesus to the other side. And we're going to try to see, do we see a year? And it does say sacred something. Hold on. Let's look, like we're doing archaeology, basically. And around the edges would generally be a year. But this one was well loved, as you can see. Look at that. It's almost all disintegrated. So I'm going to guess this is at least from the 1930s, if not earlier, and from the 1920s. A lot of nuns would carry these beautiful, I don't know if you can see this embroidery and stuff, these type of medals on ribbon, safety pinned and whatnot. And this is very old. This is like a little shrine. And let's go ahead and check out some more. A lot of nuns. So I'm assuming that a nun, this is a crucifix of a nun, or at least a priest. So here we have nuns, vintage, multi-saints, tiny pin brooch, and pocket badge shrine case. And if you look, let's go ahead. We have our Sacred Heart of Jesus. This one dated 1936. And multiple medals. We do see the Benedict medal on here. And this was from a nun's actual estate. Very interesting. The priest that we have the relic of is Alfred Pampalon, right here in this photo. And he was a Roman Catholic priest and redemptorist. And he was born in 1876 in Quebec, I believe. Quebec, Canada. And let's go ahead. He would certainly not be remembered, or not for his reputation as a saint, by which he became widely known after his death, and for the various proceedings instituted to establish the heroic nature of his virtues. After attending primary school for 2 years, he entered the College des Levis in 1876 in order to study commerce. 5 years later, after an illness, he began classical studies, intending to become a priest. Shortly before his 6th year of rhetoric, he contracted pneumonia and believed to be very close to death. He was given extreme unction. Don't know what that means. Following his recovery, which was attributed to Saint Anne, who we have in the relic. Very interested in the reliquary. He undertook a pilgrimage on the foot from Levi's to the shrine of Saint Anne de, I can never say that, Beaupre, in June of 1886. At that time, he asked for the rector of the Redemptorists, Jean Thielin, for permission to enter the congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer, which his brother Pierre had joined. A month later, Pampalon set out for Belgium with a few companions, and he entered the Redemptorist Novitiate at St. Troud, or Trond, Trond, on the 8th of September of 1887, he took his perpetual vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Given the precarious state of his health, the superiors had been reluctant to receive him into the community, but his exemplary piety outweighed all the objections. He then went into philosophical and theological studies at the Redemptorist Seminary of Beau Plateau. By working relentlessly, he made up his rather mediocre abilities, ordained a priest in 1892 on October the 4th, and it remained for some time at Beau Plateau, where the following year, on the 31st of August, he was appointed to the monastery at Mons, where he carried out various duties, replacing the absent priests, or on occasion, so he was like a substitute teacher, basically, where he carried out various duties, replacing absent priests, or on occasion, accompanying those who went to preach in the neighborhood parishes. From April to September of 1894, he undertook a second novitiate at Beau Plateau, which among the Redemptorists served as a preparation for conducting missions and parish retreats. Meanwhile, his health continued to deteriorate. And the Belgian climate did not climate. Don't mind me. I get nervous. I'm sorry. I have anxiety. Maybe the saint can help me. It did nothing to improve his condition. He spent a few months at Mons and Beau Plateau, and then his superiors, hoping that his native climate would help him to recover, decided to send him back to Canada. He returned in 1895 in September and was assigned to the monastery at St. Anne de, I can never say that, Beaupre, where he was able to carry out simple duties, preaching in the basilica and hearing confession. On the 5th of February of 1896, he entered the infirmary for the last time. Those around him marveled at his piety, patience, and resignation. He died on the 30th of September at the age of 28 from tuberculosis complicated by dropsy. A few hours after his death, a few hours before his death, to everyone's astonishment, in a loud voice, he sang out this song that was called Whole of the Magnificat. And I looked it up on Google and found it on YouTube, and wow, okay? He sang it at the top of his lungs right before he died. The first year after, the year after Pampalon's death, the same illness, this is why our reliquary is so important. The same illness caused the death at Lisieux, France, of the young woman who would be known as Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, and whose life was somewhat reminiscent of this. Pampalon's conduct had been so self-effacing that many were astonished at the introduction in 1922 of the cause of his beatification, right around the time of Saint Therese. They both are basically parallel to each other, male, female, which is really quite interesting. Of the cause of his beatification, a reaction similar to that of several companions of Saint Teresa, or Therese. Those who knew and were close to Pampalon were struck by the extraordinary way in which he accomplished ordinary things. He set an example, unwavering obedience to the rules of its congregation. I'm losing my voice. It's like the devil is stopping me from speaking. Okay, basically, yeah, I'm like at a loss over here because I get nervous. He set an example of unwavering obedience to the rules of his congregation, of admirable patience in the suffering, and great devotion to God and the Virgin Mary. It remains for the Roman Catholic Church to pronounce by papal decree on the heroic nature of his virtues, the stage preceding beatification. The faithful have not waited for his decision to show their devotion to Pampalon. Almost constantly since his death, people have attributed to his intercession answers to their prayers. Yes, many miracles after people pray to him have happened. He has not been made a saint yet. So that's why I think this is so really interesting, because we have him here, and we have Saint Therese, and we have Saint Anne right there. I don't know what Gerard has to do with this, but I did read up that he died of tuberculosis. Now we have three saints that are actually connected to each other, although he's really not a saint. People consider him a saint. They pray to him. He gives miracles back. It is also known that alcoholics pray to him, and people that have substance abuse problems. So he's actually also quite known for helping people and interceding on their behalf. Now, the whole reason why I wanted this was because my devotion to Saint Therese of the infant Jesus, or known as Little Flower, the Little Flower. I love Saint Therese. Now, there are different grades of relics. There's first grade, second grade, and third grade. First grade is the one you want the most, of course, because it generally is the bones of saints. A second-class relic is basically something they touched in life, such as a Bible, or a piece of paper, or a pen, or it could be part of their cloak, of the clothing they wore, or part of even their undergarments, or socks, or shoes. And a third-class relic is something that was touched to a first-class relic. So the only way of knowing what this is to pull this whole thing out and to try to see if there's like some kind of church, official church stamp, which would have been done in wax with some kind of string that would have tied it. But generally, you don't want to undo this, and you don't want to mess with it. Also, documentation generally comes with this. It gets lost. There was generally letters from an archbishop talking about the particular reliquary and relics, what was contained in it. We don't know what's contained in this one. The papers go missing. And I will believe 110% this is real. This was not faked. A lot of people put fake reliquaries up for sale on eBay. You have to be very careful. But I believe this is real. You can definitely see the ages here. This is not tampered with, I do not think, in any way. You can see this was devoted. Somebody prayed over this. This was used. And this is not brand new. And I believe this was made anywhere between the time that Saint Therese was made into a saint, about 1925, to somewhere in the 30s. A lot of these Sacred Heart scapulars, Sacred Heart of Jesus scapulars, were made in around 1936. That's not to say they weren't made previous to that and after that, but a lot of these particular types that I've found on the internet were almost always dated 1936. I did find a few that were dated from around 1925-ish, but I'm gonna go with this was between 1925 and 1936. This is a former priest or a former nun's crucifix. Now, I did find out that a lot of nuns and priests will wear a crucifix with relics inside them. Mostly also nuns. I think they're all handed. Each like nun that joins, you know, a convent or wherever they're joining gets their own like crucifix, and it will contain saintly relics inside of it. And they devote their calling after whatever the relics are inside of there. So there's something to do with the particular nun and the particular relics that you see inside these. Like these must have meant something to her and was very, very, very loved. And so she would pray to these saints for intercessions and for help. And so this wasn't something a regular person would be walking around with on their neck. Now, I am going to clean this. This is really dirty, as you can see. Really quite dirty. We don't know what's contained in these. I don't know if we can zoom in and take a look at that. But I don't think it's bone. Don't know if it's a first-class relic. But I do see cloth. I don't know if we go ahead here. But on the square, it looks like a piece of cloth. I don't know if you can see. Right towards the top. Can I don't know if I can point it. But here, let me get my little knife. And I don't know if you can see, but like right there. It appears to be some kind of cloth. Let's go ahead and check over here. No, I don't see a cloth on this one, on Saint Therese. I don't know. But it looks like something is contained inside this little present-like thing. Let's go ahead and check out Saint Anne. And Saint Anne, it looks like there's something inside of there, doesn't it? And then on Pampalon, there's something contained inside a bundle, like a little package. It looks like a little packet of drugs. I don't know, but I am going to clean this. And thank you for watching another one of my videos. It was a big war. Everybody was going wild over this. I don't know how I got it for so cheap. I will show you what some of these sell for, and you will be like thrown off your, like, you'll be knocked off your socks when you see what these tiny little crucifixes sell for. One's containing a lot of saints. Generally, yeah. And this one has no paperwork with it and no official church stamp. But as you can see, the same crucifix. The ebony and the little screw on the bottom. $5,800. The same size as mine. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at another one. And $2,200. But we have multiple saints in here. So the more saints, the more value there is. This one is selling for $9,000. This has 19 saints in it. So the more saints, of course, you know, the more value there is. Here's another one that sold for thousands of dollars with multiple relics inside of it. And this is the type of paperwork or certificate that would have came with it, with a special okay from a bishop or an archbishop explaining what was inside of there, what year it was actually documented that this is to be, you know, true to what it is inside of there. These go missing, these papers. You can almost always expect not to find them with the original reliquary or cross. I have my flash on my camera right now so we can see this better. But so now you see why there was 46 watchers on this. These are actually quite pricey, even though there's 4 saints on here. If you like a certain saint, you don't care. Money's no object. Like I wanted Saint Therese. I got my Saint Therese. And I only got it for $55. It was a miracle. It was an absolute miracle. I'm going to clean this. This is going to shine like a new penny. And yeah, so if you're a Catholic and say you come across one of these at a thrift store and you're like, ooh, it opens up, there's saints in there. Don't think that you can just turn around and sell this on Etsy or eBay. You cannot sell it. It's against the law. Well, not against the actual law. You're not going to get thrown in jail. But you will get thrown into purgatory if you actually turn around and flip this and sell this on eBay and you're a Catholic. You cannot do that. It's against the Catholic religion to actually do that. You have to give it away for free, or you have to actually give it to a church member. Maybe your local priest or local church. You cannot actually sell these. Now, is it against the rules for you to buy it? It's not really it's a very touchy subject. I'm not supposed to be buying it. But I could not, you know, push off the temptation to buy it. I had to have it because of Saint Therese. And that's it. So am I going to hell? I hope not. Pray for me. Pray the get out of purgatory prayer for me. And that's it. Hope you learned something. See you guys on the next one.